How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Happy 420.
Thank you. Yeah, it's Veed's birthday today.
Happy birthday, cannabis.
Yes, happy birthday, Cannabis.
What's your most memorable 420 experience?
It would have to be in 2017 when I actually spoke at the Young and Dundas
Okay.
Square. Yeah, no, it was great. There was a lineup of activists all day, and it was just a really, really great experience. I had never spoken to that many people before.
Yeah,
So that was yeah, it was amazing.
that's cool. How old were you when you spoke?
Oh, I was 2017. I would have been 24.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's a great experience. And for those of you that don't know or you've just joined, I am on Instagram Live with Melissa Rolston, not Rolstein, social entrepreneur of Jada and BTS and Bobcaygeon Strong, which is an initiative that you just kind of started. But if you want to just kind of get started with just talking more about what you do.
Yeah, of course. So I am a social entrepreneur. Um, I professionally grew up in the cannabis industry for over, I guess, going on 12 years now. And I never really imagined myself to be in the position that I'm in right now. So it's been a journey, and it's still very much at its beginning. But to be able to be a part of the birth of a brand new industry, such as cannabis, it's been an incredible experience, and it's changed so much, and just the experience that I was able to get from prohibition all the way to the legal cannabis industry today is just really, I don't know, it's exciting.
Yeah. And where did you start off in the cannabis industry?
Well, I started full time in the industry in 2013 when I became an executive assistant to a CEO. But I initially was introduced to the industry and patients long before then, like back in 2009 when I was working in chronic pain clinics. And working there, I was able to see firsthand and observe patients who suffered from chronic ailments using cannabinoid therapy alongside their opioid treatments, or the difference in quality of life of those who incorporated cannabinoid therapy alongside their opioid or conventional treatments, and the ones who didn't. So it was very interesting to be exposed to that at such a young age, and to just follow my life path to be where I am today, and be able to use those skills and that knowledge is very, it was definitely luck.
Well, you always say you follow your life path, so that's good that you kind of stuck with that. And what is that like to follow your life path? Like what kind of advice would you give people that are kind of diving into a new industry or, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so my philosophy is, money comes and goes, and as long as you're doing something in good faith, then you'll be able to experience benefits of that. Well, that's been my own personal experience, right? So, I mean, I've always kept very true to my own personal values and moral compass. Um, but I mean, I think the best thing is, don't give up,
Mhm.
obviously. There was times, when I first initially started Jada, I was sleeping on a cushion on the floor, and I was supposed to be homeless. So, being in that kind of situation, and learning from that, and pushing forward is something that I'll be able to carry those values with me throughout the rest of my life. But also it gives you a very humble lens that you can reflect back on as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. And how are you adapting to the new normal? You know, you're a young female entrepreneur. How are you adapting to this? How are you still surviving in this industry right now as a cannabis, being a part of a cannabis company?
Well, we were in a very unique position because we initially launched our go-to-market strategy on January 21st of this year. So this is a company I've been building for 6 years, doing product development. In addition to finding and aligning with the right partners, and being able to see it fully come to fruition and be on shelves soon in the summer.
Yeah.
But it's been a bit of a change in terms of survival. Like I didn't let go of anyone. Everyone still has their contracts with us. We've actually had to gear up a little bit quicker because we are very much still in launch phase. So that's been an experience. But I mean, when cannabis is deemed essential, that kind of set a precedent of where we will kind of position ourselves throughout our launch. But it's been interesting. I mean, our entire team is remote, so we're very, very used to this. Like, nothing really changed on a day-to-day. We just got busier.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm very fortunate and thankful for that. And obviously, there's still a lot of, obstacles that are gonna arise in wake of the current pandemic. But I think that, being a solution seeker and adapting to change and pivoting has always been a strong suit of mine. So right now, we have a really great team and we work together very well, and the communication is incredible, and I'm very, very lucky to be honest with you. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And I know BTS, Breaking the Stigma, is doing lives every day at around noon.
Yeah.
So yeah, how's that been?
That's been fun. It's so funny because I've never really done this before. Like, I never really spoke to cameras. And so when everything was happening, I was like, I need to do something. I need to, I want to connect with people. I want to talk to people. I want to ensure that everyone has some sort of, an outlet to tell their story. And so I just got the idea and I started asking people, hey, do you want to do a live? Do you want to do live? And we ended up we were booked for a month and a half. And we're still really booked. I check my calendar and there's one pretty much every day. And it's just been fun. And it turns into whatever you want it to be, right? Whoever the person is that's on live with us, it really sets the precedent of how the live goes. Sometimes we do different activities. We had the woman who is Miss Canada, Alyssa Boston, she came on and she did her makeup, and her and I talked about stigma and how she's not a cannabis user, but she really believes in destigmatizing and helping bridge that gap between those who are very ignorant against cannabis, and she understands as a non-cannabis user how to communicate to them. So that was a really interesting conversation. And then we've had some rappers on, we had singers, and they were singing and dropping some songs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's just been fun. Yeah.
Kind of a neat way to keep the cannabis community together, but online, which is very much, your community. You have a big community that, helps you all the time. You've helped them.
Yeah.
So how do you, other than Instagram lives, how do you guys kind of stay together and keep that unity in a time when we can't really see each other?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I've learned a lot about my network during this time. There's a lot of really, really great people out there, and I truly believe that crisis shows true colors. So there's a lot of people that, because of what's happening, our relationship has become a lot closer. And so it's almost like a little blessing in disguise. And I really appreciate my network and my advisors and those who I get to communicate on a day-to-day basis and work with.
Yeah.
So it just the circle has definitely got a lot tighter, and I think that that's necessary.
Okay. And so you've seen some kind of, your network hasn't dramatically changed at all since this has happened.
No, relationships became stronger. And then you really get to see, who's showing up and both, the energy is reciprocal. Like you're both giving each other the same amount of energy, you're adding the same amount of value to one another, and it's a truly good relationship. Like you both balance one another out, and you're both there for the right reasons.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw that you started an initiative called Bobcaygeon Strong.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so Bobcaygeon Strong is powered by BTS Stories, which is my nonprofit, and this was inspired because of what had happened in the town of Bobcaygeon. I don't know if anyone is aware, but there was a major outbreak in a nursing home up there called Pinecrest, where 50% of the residents passed away, unfortunately, and about 80 of the staff were infected. And so my mother actually lives in Bobcaygeon and is a nurse that's about 10-15 minutes away from Pinecrest. And to see, you know, like the lack of resources and support that town has received when they were very much one of the gentlemen that's on the team that him and I work very closely together, he was referring to it as the red zone, which it was. And so I couldn't just sit and do nothing, and so I joined a bunch of procurement groups, and we created a very sophisticated international supply chain for PPE, or personal protective equipment, to ensure that it goes directly to frontline heroes. And when it goes directly to frontline heroes, it's 100% at cost. There's no profit added to it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we were able to set up air transport, we have ground transport, we have hangar space, we have tons of connections to different manufacturers of PPE, both in Canada and outside of Canada. And we've also started to, almost lost my train of thought. Yes, we have a lab, so we test everything to ensure that it actually works. So right now we're trying to find a solution because there's a ton of N95s on the market. However, in Canada, the reason why 3M N95s are so critical for our frontline heroes is because everyone gets fit tested every 2 years. So when you get fit tested, essentially what happens is it knows that it's seal proof. And so there's absolutely no way that any of the droplets that the virus is carried on can emit through the N95. And so with KN95s, they can't fit true to an N95.
Okay.
And so it's like there's a lot there's a lot of really, really, really incredibly smart people working to resolve this issue or find some sort of solution. And I'm very thankful to be working with all the tech entrepreneurs and scientists and hospitals that I'm working with to try to resolve this problem. But there's still an outbreak at the Ross Memorial, which is the hospital in Lindsay, which is right beside Bobcaygeon. So we're right now raising money to donate more PPE there. We've gotten them a bunch of masks and face shields already. We have about 5,000 face shields coming in this week. We got them isolation gowns. We've also gotten them, I was able to get my hands on a couple weeks supply of 3M N95s, just one size, but still, there was so many medical professionals that was their size.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting. A lot of yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you've done a lot. You've done a lot in the past couple of days. And I mean, you used to work with clinics before, and now you're talking to hospitals. What are some of the barriers that you're seeing when you try to initiate this project and moving forward?
So the main pushback that we've been receiving is from the ministry, which isn't surprising because that's what they want to bring everything in. But the problem is that there is a lot of gaps. Like, for example, the hospital that now has declared an outbreak as of Saturday, they were given from the ministry 50 masks in total. And that's, you know, like if you're looking up there and you see the big like spread out there, it was just, I don't know, it's really interesting just to see how different resources are being allocated, especially to more rural communities.
Yeah.
And those communities are much more vulnerable, as they don't have the access to the resources that the hospital networks downtown do, for example.
Yeah.
So I've been working with executives at the hospital up there, and we've been speaking with different associations and their executives to try to come to a solution to really push back against the ministry to ensure that resources are being, you know, like allocated to areas that are in the midst of a peak.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
cool. That's good. Yeah. It's a lot
I'm
of hard
learning a
work.
lot. It's a huge learning curve.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you
And then
think he
also,
would?
yeah, and then we, you know, like we launched a bunch of products today with Jada. So I don't know how I have time to sleep, but it happens.
So why don't you talk a little bit more about Jada? What is Jada?
Yeah, so Jada is set to be a cannabis-infused skincare company that's going to be launching in the summer, and we had to push it in the wake of everything that's going on right now, the initial launch date. But what we do is we want our community of consumers to know and understand their true value, because Jada, the name Jada means it means the knowing one, or to know. And so we want to focus on, you know, empowering our community consumers that it's okay to love the skin that you're in. I personally have suffered from very bad pediatric eczema my entire life, in addition to some chronic pain. And so topicals have been something that I've used on a day-to-day basis, and I really believe that they are kind of the gateway into a very cannabis naive consumer learning and understanding how the plant works on their body, and being a lot more comfortable with exploring other modes of administration, and using it as an overall therapeutic tool. So that's kind of what we've been doing. We also partner with artists and do campaigns. So we did, the first one that we've done is we partnered with a Canadian jeweler named Dana, and we created the Jada X Dana campaign, and we have a line of beautiful jewelry pieces.
You're always sporting one. Are you wearing one right now?
Of course.
Well, let's see. Let's see.
Okay, here's the ring.
Nice.
There's a dangle earring right here, caught in my hair.
Cool.
And then we have the pendants.
Very
we also
nice.
have cufflinks in our line as well. These ones are all from the Lux Gold line, with real saberites. And then we also have a 925 sterling silver line with nano saberites. And because we are currently still in state of emergency in Ontario, we have a Flatten the Curve campaign where everything is 55% off. And we just launched our entire white gold and rose gold lines too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, back to topicals, because I really wanted to ask this question because I feel like you would know more than anyone. What do you think some of the stigmas will be that will be attached to topicals when they first kind of enter the market?
That's a good question. I don't really believe that it's much of a stigma that's attached to it, but the biggest issue is going to be ensuring that, you know, people that require the access to it get the access to it, because you're not going to walk into a smoke shop to buy skincare.
No.
So I think that topicals are really going to help, and I'm really proud to be a part of it, but push the narrative and open more of a dialogue to ensure that you have dignified access to it. Because, I mean, let's face it, unless you have a carrier oil such as the DSMO, then you're not going to experience any psychoactive effects. The cannabinoids can't penetrate through your blood membrane. So I think you know, there's still obviously a lot of pushing forward to dismantle some of the red tape that we very much face in this industry. But I think that topicals are really going to be a great solution to that, and really there has been a massive mind shift since legalization, but I think it's really going to open a lot more people's eyes.
So your 420 is just going to be you, like, just putting a bunch of topicals on, just like running around telling people.
Please wear lotion. I mean, like, hey, right now everyone's washing their hands so much, so a lot of people have been
my hands are
contacting me.
so dry.
Are they still dry though?
They're a little bit dry still, but it's because I haven't been. Yeah,
that's okay.
Just been washing my hands way too much.
Yeah, well, you should wash your hands.
I know.
Very important.
Yes, very important now more than ever. Yeah, so what's next for Jada? Because I'm really excited for what you're gonna do. Are you gonna make some like mushroom pendants for psychedelics industry? Like what's next?
Really? You're gonna make me drop that right now? Yeah, we are working on, Dana and I have been working on mushroom jewelry.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's been exciting. It's just hard because we can't just sit in the shop and create right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been a lot of, like just communicating back and forth through messaging. But that's the next step that we're looking at doing with Dana. I don't believe it's going to be through Jada, because Jada is a cannabis skincare company. But it will definitely be a BTS initiative for sure.
Everyone's really psyched on your shroom jewelry, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you for the kind comment, Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Paul.
So, okay, where you are cannabis expert, where is the cannabis industry headed?
I mean, I think that, it's just gonna, we're in a really good spot right now. I mean, some companies are not in a very good spot, but what I'm most excited for is to see some of the real players and pioneers kind of come out of the closet and really start to drop some really great fire. Like, I'm so excited for the craft micro grows to start coming on board. I'm really, 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 really excited to try those products, and I'm just looking forward to actual cannabis consumers and enthusiasts creating quality products that the consumer wants, because that's a major barrier right now for the legal market.
Why is it a barrier?
Well, I mean, like, you didn't see a spike in cannabis sales until the pandemic happened. Right?
Yeah.
And that's because, people's needs were being served elsewhere in the illicit market. And like the topicals, for example, the only topical that's currently on the market, the cannabinoid content versus the volume of the bottle is not what a typical topical consumer who is very well experienced in using topicals uses. So, I mean, like, it's great that they were first to market, but that being said, they created a product that, people aren't, it's not doing anything for them. Not to speak ill about it, but it's not like it doesn't, yeah.
Nice. Well, what do you want to add anything to what's going on with Jada, BTS, Bobcaygeon Strong? Is anything else you want to add?
I mean, if anyone, feels like they want to help or contribute to Frontline Heroes, if you go to, here, I'll write it out here. Strong.ca. Okay, yeah. Go to this website, bobcaygeonstrong.ca. There is a store there, an online store where you can purchase a hoodie. You can either get a Bobcaygeon one, or we have a Canada Strong version, and all those proceeds go directly towards purchasing PPE for Frontline Heroes to donate to them at cost. There's no profit involved whatsoever. And any remaining funds from the purchases that happen with the Bobcaygeon Strong hoodie go directly back into the community to assist with mental health and food banks, and all that necessary stuff right now.
That's amazing. Well, that is so amazing.
It's like my main focus. Also, if you want to drip, like, feel free to go purchase from Jada. It's 55% off. Like, have fun. It's probably
sorry. What's a drip?
No, you just drip. Do you not listen to rap music?
No. Lightly. I'm a light listener to rap music. It's more of the country music right now. I don't know why.
Because you're up north.
Yeah, pretty much.
It happens.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. Okay, well, Mel, thank you so much for joining me today and giving us some more insight into what you're doing.
Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for tuning in. It was great chatting with you, Grace. And yeah, if anyone wants to get in touch, feel free to slide in the DM, or you can send a message through our website, an email.
What is your website?
Jada.life is the Jada website. Or you
Awesome.
can get in touch with me through Bobcaygeon Strong. That's really my main focus right now, is ensuring that PPE is going directly to frontline heroes, because they very much need it. It's a huge scarcity issue.
Agreed. Okay, Mel, thank you so much.
Okay, see you.
Bye.
Bye.